I was sitting having lunch with my wife last week and this feeling came over me. Quiet, ordinary, completely unexpected. And I thought, oh, this is what contentment feels like. And then almost immediately I thought, wait, am I allowed to feel this? Shouldn't I be chasing something? Shouldn't I want more? Today I want to talk about that, about what contentment actually is, and why claiming it might be one of the most radical things you do in midlife. Hey everyone, welcome back to Stage Midlife. I'm Amy. If this is your first time here, hello, I'm really glad you found this. This channel is where I talk honestly about midlife, the transitions, the identity shifts, the relationships, all of it. If you're new, maybe start with my first video so you know a bit about where I'm coming from. That moment at lunch is what today's video is about. And I think it's worth slowing down on because I don't think enough people talk about this. It really was nothing special, just an ordinary day off, sitting together, talking about nothing in particular. And out of nowhere, I just felt this calm, this quiet sense of, I'm happy right now. Not happy because something exciting happened. Not happy because I achieved something. Just happy, sitting there in that moment. And I said to her, I think this is what contentment feels like. She kind of smiled, like she already knew. And I sat with that thought for the rest of the day. I want to give you a picture of what changed because I think the specifics matter more than the idea. On working days, I wake up at 5 a.m. On days off, I wake up at 5:30. Barely different, but that little bit of extra rest somehow feels like a luxury. I'm in bed by 9 p.m. most nights. A few times a week, I exercise at home. On my days off, I go for nature walks, and sometimes I would go to local weekend markets. At night, I read. That's it. That's the big transformation. And here's the thing. None of that sounds exciting written down. There's no big achievement in that list. But living it feels completely different from how I used to live. Before, my days were dictated by shift work, traveling for work, unpredictability. Now there's a rhythm, a small, steady rhythm that I build myself on purpose. And that rhythm is where the contentment actually lives, not in some big moment, but in the simple fact that my days now feel like mine. Here's what's true for me right now. I'm still a nurse, I still work, just few hours, just mornings, just casual shifts. And that change alone has done something I didn't fully expect. I don't get grumpy anymore. That sounds like a small thing, but it isn't. For years, I didn't even realize how much of an edge I was carrying around until it wasn't there anymore. I have more patience, more energy for my wife, for the things I enjoy, for just being. And sitting at that lunch table, I realized this is what I was working toward this whole time. Not a complete overnight transformation. Just this ordinary, peaceful, enough feeling. When I started this channel, I think I frame a lot of it as starting over, new chapter, reinventing myself, figuring out what's next. And there's truth in that. Things have changed a lot for me this year. But sitting at that lunch table, I realized that's not quite the right word for where I am right now. I'm not starting over. I think I've actually just arrived somewhere, at least for now. Now I want to be really clear about something because I think this is where people get confused. And honestly, where I used to get confused too. Contentment is not the same as being stuck. It's not the same as giving up on goals. It's not complacency. I still have things I want to do. This channel is one of them. I still have curiosity, ambition, dreams for the future. The difference is, I'm not chasing those things from a place of pressure or escape anymore. I'm not running toward the next stage because I'm desperate to get away from where I am. I'm just here, grateful for today, and open to whatever comes next without needing it to come right now. That's the shift. Not, I have nothing left to want, but I don't need the next thing in order to be okay today. If you're watching this and you're not sure whether you're content or just settling, here's a question that's helped me. If nothing in my life changed for the next year, would I be okay? Not thrilled, not living my best life, just okay, steady, at peace. For me, right now, the answer is yes. And that surprised me a little because for most of my life, the answer would have been no. There was always something I was waiting to get through, get past, or get to. If your answer is no, that's not a failure. It's just information. It might mean there's something that still needs to change or something you need to let go of. Either answer is fine. The point is just asking the question honestly. The truth is, saying I'm content out loud feels a little strange, like I'm supposed to follow it up with, but I still want more, just to prove I haven't given up on myself. There's this pressure, especially in midlife, to always be becoming something, always optimizing, always working toward the next version of yourself. And I get it. Growth is good. I'm not against growth. But there's something quietly powerful about just pausing, recognizing that where you are right now is actually okay, good even. For me, contentment isn't the finish line. It's not, I'm done growing. It's more like, I finally feel steady enough to enjoy the view for a while before I keep walking. One small thing I've started doing, and it sounds almost too simple to mention, is actually naming it when I feel good. Like that day at lunch. In the past, I probably would have just felt that moment and moved on without registering it. Now, I try to pause and actually say it, even just in my head. This is nice. I'm happy right now. It doesn't change anything about the moment, but it changes how much of it I actually absorb. I think for a long time, I was moving so fast that good moments passed through me without leaving much behind. Naming them is my way of letting them land. If there's one thing underneath all of this, it's gratitude. Grateful for mornings with my wife, grateful for lesser work hours, more sleep, more presence. Grateful that I get to do this, sit here and talk to you as part of my life now. I used to move through life so fast that gratitude felt like an afterthought, something you do at the end of the day if you remember to. Now it feels more like the foundation, the thing everything else sits on. I'll also say, I know this isn't guaranteed to stay exactly like this. Life shifts, work has its harder days, things change, but right now, today, this is true. And I think that's all contentment really is. Not a permanent state, just a genuine description of right now. So that's where I am right now. Not starting over, not stuck, just content. And moving toward whatever's next, freely, not frantically. If you're in a stage where you feel that too, that quiet, ordinary happiness, I hope this gave you permission to just enjoy it, You don't have to rush past it to get to the next thing. Now, contentment didn't just happen on its own. A big part of how I got here is learning to set limits, boundaries, saying no to things without the guilt that used to come with it. That guilt was real for me for a long time. And next time, I want to talk about how I'm learning to let go of it. I think a lot of you will relate to this one too. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what contentment looks like for you right now, even if it's something small. If you're new here, welcome. And subscribe if you'd like to keep going on this journey with me. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.